Hello and welcome. It's Thursday, it's 10:45, which means it's time for Mr. Seagull's History Adventures. So welcome to the Home Festival Online, which is a scheme of activities organised by wonderful Strictly Stars, Karen and Oti and their partners Marius and David. So before we go into the Vikings, let's look at what the schedule for today's classes are, because we also want to know what the schedule is. Let's have a look. So we've got after at 11:30, Hannah Martin with a dance class, going to be brilliant. Then at 12:15, Katya Jones is doing upcycling, and Katya also has a new program, a post-lockdown course. So do check out Katya's Instagram for that. Then at 3 o'clock, we have Bryony with a makeup tutorial. Then at 6, our special guest, we've got Giovanni and David doing an opera lesson. And opera comes into today's class. I'll explain a bit later. Then at 7 o'clock, we have Faye with her bedtime story. Narnia, it's going to be fab. And then 8:15, Neil Jones's isolation quiz. We're coming for you, Neil. And then at 9 o'clock, we have Lula Franks with a home festival party. So there we go. It's going to be a fab day for me today. So I'm trying to get all my screens up so I can see my YouTube, my Instagram, my Twitter. We're on lots of different feeds. Hello, Mayuri. Hello, Gainer. Hello, Francesca. So I can see your comments. Usually I can't, but I can today. And again, if you post on my page as well, I should be able to see it on Instagram. I'm going to come and check you in a quick mo. Good. I've got my Instagram comments as well. Hello, Instagram people. Okay, so today is all about the Vikings. I'm so excited. Let's have a look. So, firstly, let's share some of your fabulous homework. Because I love the homework that you share, Millie and Izzy. So, Millie shared a great story about Aztec gods. So thank you, Millie. She's been sending me a couple of stories in recently. And then dance-wise, we have Francesco getting involved with my... what was my last class? Honestly, my memory's going... We did Italian. We did the Tarantella dance. So Francesca sent me that. So did Carrie. And Carrie also used a tambourine as part of the Tarantella dance. Then we had Oscar, who sent in a Venetian mask. Wonderful Venetian mask. And Carrie also sent in a poster for the lesson. So thank you so much. And then we also had Elizabeth Abraham's husband. Look at that. That's amazing. On the screen, he made a Viking by balloons. So thank you so much, Elizabeth Abraham's husband. I appreciate the effort that's gone into that. So again, we always have homework every class. And we had Milan and Maya with Gabriel Alexander taking part. Lots of people. So if you have homework, send it through and I'll share it in our classes. There we go. It's Karina. I keep calling you Carrie. It's Karina. Sorry. Thank you, Karina. I'll change it. Then I'm going to put a note. Look, I'm going to put a note. Karina. I'm going to change it the next one. I keep doing that. Sorry. Mr. Seagull sometimes makes mistakes too. Okay. So let's look at the class today. So we're going to be looking at the Vikings. We're going to look at who were they. We're going to look into their trading and exploring. A bit about their mythology and why today, Thursday, is a special day in Viking history. Then we'll do a dance, but an unusual one. It's called a Viking clap. So it's not as exciting, but it's very powerful. Do some Norse counting, 1 to 5. And then I'll share some Viking fiction, modern fiction by a lady called Dr. Yanina Ramirez. And then as usual, we have our homework with Bobby. I set you a do, draw, or dance task. Then there's quiz with Bobby. Have you been paying attention to the class? And then finally, it is thoughts of Mr. Seagull. So again, if you're joining me in Home Festival is having a few-week break from Sunday, but I'm going to be continuing my classes. Monday maths, Tuesday geography, Wednesday football quiz, Thursday history, and Saturday family quiz on my YouTube and my Facebook and Instagram. So again, if you're going to miss me on Home Festival, don't worry, I'm still going to be continuing for the indefinite future. So there we go. We're going to travel in time. We're going to travel in time because we're going to be going back to 700 to 1100 AD. 700 to 1100 AD. So let's get going. So again, we're going to get in our Back to the Future car. We love this. We love this car. I'm going to get my glasses on. Get my glasses on. Are you ready to join me? Are you ready to join me? Are you ready? We're going to spin. We're going to go to Scandinavia, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. Where are we? Here. And we're going to go back to 700 to 1100 AD. Are you ready? Let's crank up the car. 50 miles an hour, 60, 70, 80, 88. And we're here. We have reached the Viking land. And I'm really excited to be here. So here we are. We've travelled back in time to 700 to 1100 AD. But before we start that, we're going to bust a myth here. You know, people often think that Vikings wear helmets with horns. You've heard of that, yeah? Of course they wear it. It's not true, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's not true. And I'll tell you where this myth started. So there's a musician, a composer called Wagner. Let me see if I can play you his clip. Hold on. You heard this? You've heard of this? This is Wagner's The Ride of the Valkyries from one of his operas. And when they were doing the stage work for this, they said, let's make the Vikings look really intimidating. And they gave them horns. The horns never existed. So they are completely false. So next time you see someone, there's a cartoon with Vikings and horns, say, it's nice, but it's a misinterpretation of a Wagner opera. There we go. So you learned something. To be honest, I had to refresh that knowledge myself. So if you can see from the diagram, the Vikings came from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, towards Britain, towards the northeast, towards Scotland and Ireland. And again, some ventured off towards Iceland, some went towards Greenland. And in fact, the first discoverers or settlers from Europe to America were from the Scandinavian part of the Vikings. So it's amazing how they travelled across. And we'll look at how they did in a second. But when we think of Vikings, we often think of fierce warriors, bloodthirsty. And the word Viking actually means, from Old Norse, pirate raid. So you could say, if you're going, I'm going off, Mum's asking you, what are you off doing? Some people go hiking. You go, I'm off Viking, yeah? I was off to raid some settlements. So they would raid settlements. They would raid monasteries. But they were more than that. It's a bit of course, it was part of their culture to raid other people. But they did more than that too. They did other things like farming, growing things. There were merchants, buying and selling. And craft work. They would make items. So how would they do this? How did they travel? Did they call up British Airways? Can we get a flight to the UK? No, they didn't do that. They went by boats. And let's have a look at what sort of boats they went across. We've got Gaynor here this morning. Hello, Gaynor. Gaynor says that there's a place in called Viking in Largs in Scotland. So they went to Scotland as well. They went to lots of places around Britain. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. So trading, exploring. So Vikings were renowned for that. And there's two types of boats that they went in. So one I haven't got up here, but I'll write it up on the board for you. And it's called Nor. Let's get the spelling right. N-O-R-R. So Nor. K-N-O-R-R. And these were sort of flat-bottomed passenger ships. And they would be used to transport goods. So again, the Vikings would trade. They might trade silver or silk or spices to eat. What else would they have? Wine and jewellery, pottery and glass. So they would transport them on Nors. And Nors weren't, they're not glamorous, but they did the important bit of transporting goods between Viking colonies. But obviously, we all know Vikings for their longships. And they were also called dragon ships. So called dragon or longships. So dragon ships, and these were fierce because they would use them. They would use them for, I would say, terrorizing people. They would go to colonies. They would go to monasteries. And they would plunder and pillage. But this wasn't their full story, but it was part of it. And longships were maybe 30 meters, maybe 40 meters long, 30 meters, 40 meters long. And on the top of it, if you look at the pattern, almost like a dragon to intimidate the enemies. And they would carry up to 60 to 80 warriors. Can you imagine that? 60 to 80 warriors. And sometimes when they would land, they would lift up the boat and carry it on. The intimidating sight of these Viking men. And in fact, the first recorded attack was 787 AD, I think. They attacked monasteries in Britain, 787. There may have been early ones, but there's one I know that definitely happened, 787. And they would attack people, and it was fearsome. And here is a great word. Here's a great word. So Vikings, when they entered battle, sometimes, they would wear a wolf or a bear skin. So imagine a wolf that you'd skinned, or a bear, and you put the bear on. And then you got out of control, you'd be like, let's attack. And because they wear the bear skin, these people were called berserkers. 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 Let's write that down. Berserkers. And you're probably thinking, I recognize this phrase. Berserkers. Have you ever heard anyone say, you're going berserk? It comes from the Vikings. Because the Vikings, wearing their bear skin, would go out of control in battle, and they were berserkers. And I think it's amazing, isn't it? So next time someone says, you're going berserk here, and you can say, where's my bear skin? I'm not going out of control like the Vikings. There you go. It's a brilliant, brilliant fact. So the Vikings have a reputation for plundering and pillaging, which they did, but they were also more than that. A lot of people settled down, they traded, they were farmers, they were merchants, craftsmen, so they did more than just their stereotypical raiding and pillaging. Let's look at some Norse mythology. Norse mythology. Hello, Charlene's joining. Hello, Charlene that's joining. And again, we'll look at some fiction later on with Janina Ramirez, who did a book about the Vikings. But Viking culture has a big hold on us. There's a series, I think on Amazon Prime or Netflix, called Vikings. We've got How to Train Your Dragon, which is elements of the Viking culture. So we love Viking culture, don't we? Okay, Norse mythology. Who's a fan? Is it Marvel or DC? I'm not sure which of the two. But it's very popular in Hollywood. So we've got Thor. We've got Odin. We've got Mjolnir, the hammer. We've got Loki. So these are all from Norse mythology. And Odin, the guy with the beard, he's considered the supreme god. The supreme god. And actually, if you were a warrior and you died in battle, half of you would end up going to Valhalla. Can you see that image? Valhalla. Almost like a hall. Valhalla. And this is a majestic hall in Asgard where they would feast on goats and food and fruit and drink wine and beer. So Valhalla was where you'd end up if you were a warrior and you were selected by Odin. So Odin was considered the chief god. And the one that's probably, I think, more famous in our culture because of the films is Thor. And Thor had a hammer. A hammer. I don't have a hammer on me now, but called Mjolnir. Mjolnir. And he would be the god of thunder. He could summon thunder. And many of you may have seen Thor. I quite like the films. And here's what's very cool. We think about Norse mythology pretty much every day. It's going to be part of your homework. So I'll tell you a couple of them. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Apart from Saturday, Sunday to Friday, they're all named after Norse mythology. So you know today is Thursday. Thursday. Does it sound familiar? Thor. Thursday. Thursday is named after Thor. The day of Thor. Thursday. So today actually we are honouring Thor. And then Wednesday, another way of saying Odin is Woden. Woden. So Woden's Day. Woden's Day. Woden's Day. So Wednesday and Thursday are named after Odin and Thor. That's amazing. Viking culture still lives with us today. The only day that's not is Saturday. And that's named after Roman god, Saturday. But all the other days are named after Norses. So one of your homework that I'll set you potentially is look up the other days. So someone's clarifying me snazzy quiz. It's Marvel. It's Marvel. So Thor is part of the Marvel culture. And again, since then, there's been a revived interest in the Vikings. I think the Vikings are absolutely brilliant. So, it's going to be time for us to do our dance. You know, every class of mine, we do a dance. So last week we did an Aztec traditional dance. We did Italian tarantella, din, 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 which Francesca did, and Karina did for me as well. But today, there is Viking Nordic traditional dances. But I'm a big football fan. So we're going to do something which is known as the Iceland Thunderclap. The Iceland Thunderclap. But I'm going to get ready for that. So, let's have a look. So, I'm going to get my outfits on. So, you know I said they wore bear skin. So, I've got a coat here. I've turned it inside. It's my brother's coat. I've turned it inside out. So, it looks like a Viking coat. Hold on. Can you see that? Can you see? It looks like a bear skin now. A bear skin. I've got, there are no horns. I've got a helmet. And what else do we have? Whoop, 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 whoop. So Viking warriors, they usually fought with, I'm going to try and hold this on, with swords and battle axes. Although some of them did carry spears and bows and arrows. And they would have shields that were wooden. They weren't really metallic, they were wooden. Whoa, this keeps falling down my head. And they would have armor made of layers of thick animal hides, so thick animal skin. So you know the bear skin, the berserk, they would wear that. And they'd sometimes wear chainmail and armor. So this is a Viking warrior. That's what I look like. Hello, Judy. Do I look like a Viking warrior too? So we're going to do a dance. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the Viking dance. So the Vikings would have a dance called a fire dance. Again, it's part of their culture of worshipping and I guess accepting the importance of fire. But in football, the Icelandic football team, who beat England in 2016. I'm not sure how they knocked us out of the European Championship. They did a chant. So they started doing an intimidating clap. And it's known as the thunder clap or the volcano clap or the Viking clap. So Iceland, the least populated country by density, so by population density, did that. Let's have a look at the clap. And I want to wear the helmet, but it keeps falling off. So you're going to have to imagine just me wearing the bear skin, okay? Let's have a look at this. So this is not your typical dance. This is a summoning warrior strength before we go berserk. Are you ready? So Mayuri is ready. Mayuri is excited. Who else is excited? We got Francesca. We're all ready. I'm ready. We're all ready. Okay, let's go. Let's bring this Viking dance for us. Position, it's Webb's Iceland clap. There we go. I love the Viking thunder clap. Okay. It's time for some counting, isn't it? It's time for some counting. I'm going to take my jacket back off. It's a bit warm. I'll wear that back on towards the end. Okay, so counting. So we've got some Norse counting. So are we ready, Charlene? We're going to have some Norse counting. So I'm going to put it up here for you. So Norse is the language that they would have spoken in this region here. Let's have a look. Okay, so the first one is ein. Count that for me. Ein. Then it's twer. Then it's frere. Then it's fjorir. Then fim. Let's count that. Ein, tver, frere, fjorir, fim. Let's count down. Fim, fjorir, frere, twer, ein. You got those numbers? So it goes ein, tver, frere, fjorir, fim. Okay, a few bit of questions for you. I'm going to do a bit of maths. Maths in Old Norse. That's what Mr. Seagull does. So, imagine I said to you, ein plus tver. What's that? Ein plus tver. What is that? Shout it out. It's frere. Good. How about fim minus fjorir? Fim minus fjorir. What's that? Fim minus fjorir. It's ein. Good. Ooh, we'll do a multiplication. Tver times tver. Tver times tver, which is fjorir. There we go. Let's do the count it up again. Let's count it up again. So it's ein, twer, frer, fjorir, fim. There you go. We got basic Norse counting. That's what we do. You know, we look at culture, we look at the dances, and we learn some counting because I'm a maths teacher. Okay. So, I was going to talk to you about fiction. So if you love Viking culture, and I think it's an amazing culture, one person's work, so actually one of my friends, is a lady called Dr. Janina Ramirez. And she's a Oxford historian, and she specialises in art and culture. And she's written some wonderful books and got some great documentaries on BBC and iPlayer, but she's written a wonderful book called, the Waves of the second one, but the original one was called Riddle of the Runes. And this is a Viking mystery based on a girl called Alva. Alva is a shield maiden, and she's a dog, a sniffer dog called Fen. And there's a kidnapper on the loose. And with their uncle Magnus, who's an investigator, they're trying to solve this mystery. So if you want to learn about runes, almost like the language that they use in these sort of Scandinavian Nordic cultures, and you like your mysteries, Dr. Janina Ramirez's book, so you've got Riddle of the Runes and Wave of the Waves, definitely worth looking into. And then you can sort of say, oh, I've learned some stuff about Vikings with Mr. Seagull. But then you go to the real expert, Dr. Janina Ramirez, because she is terrific, enthusiastic, and her books are brilliant. So do check it out. If you're liking Vikings and you want to find out more and read a fiction book with a bit of a detective story, there you go. It's got a great lead called Alva. And Alva is a empowered girl who's such a wonderful character. So thank you, Dr. Janina Ramirez, for that. Okay, so now we're going to move on into your homework. I'm going to say your homework task. So your homework task is 3 things. One is, so it's your do, draw or dance. And again, if you're enjoying my classes, please tweet me with your pictures at Bobby_Seagull. Tag me in your stories on Instagram at Bobby_Seagull. Or again, if you use YouTube, send it to me on Instagram or Facebook.com/Bobby Seagull. Give me a like or follow there. And again, you'll see all my updates. But your homework could be research Viking gods. So remember I told you about the days? Thursday is Thursday and Wednesday is Odin's Day. So find out the other days, so do some research on that. Or secondly, draw a picture of any of the 3 things you learned today. Or finally, send me a dance of your... Whoa, I nearly knocked my lights off. Thunderclap, I got really excited. So you can do that for me. So it's going to be time for your quiz. Are you ready for your quiz? Have you been paying attention? Have you been paying attention? Let's have a look. I'm going to have a look at if you've been paying attention. Francesca, are you ready? Okay, so here are your questions. So, question number 1. Have you been paying attention to the Vikings? So, Vikings wore horned helmets. Is that true or false? Vikings wore horned helmets. Is that true or false? Question 2. What is a Viking warboat called? So the warship. What is a Viking, not the normal one, the passenger one, what is a Viking ship used for battle called? So what's a Viking boat for battle called? And the third one, what is the Viking hall where the dead would dwell with the god Odin? What is a Viking hall where the dead would dwell with the god Odin? Let's see if your answers are coming through. What do we have? What do we have today? Let's have a look. Now I'm going to check your answers. Let's have a look. So what answers do we have? So for number 1, Vikings, I got a few answers coming through. People are saying, Snazzy Quizzes are saying it's false. It's false, which is correct. And Millie's correct. They didn't wear that. And again, the myth came because Wagner had an opera. Remember? The opera with this song here? If I can get the song. And because of that, they created this character with the horns. It didn't exist. The second one, it's called, well done Millie, it's called a longship. Well done Myri and Elizabeth. It's called a longboat or a longship. And the last one, where would they live? And what you look at as well. Kiki's correct as well. And the last one is Valhalla. So you've got Valhalla, Charlene, and Kiki, all correct. Well done. So lots of great answers, lots of fabulous answers. So I feel like you've passed your test. So we've got about 5 minutes left to go. what I try and do is thoughts of Mr. Seagull. So I put my jacket back on because I want to be a bit calm for this. So I do the thought every session. So take a deep breath in for me. Well done, Kiki. You got all the answers. Longbow to Longship. So take a deep breath in for me. Breathe in for 5. Hold it for 2. And breathe out. Breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for 2. And breathe out. Okay. Bit of calm. So these are thoughts of Mr. Seagull. Positive ideas to help you flourish. And the one here is, parents may recognize this, or carers, from a BT slogan from Bob Hoskins. I think it's Bob Hoskins. It's called "It's Good to Talk." And the reason I've got this, particularly now, when people are really concerned about mental health and how you feel, make sure that if you're having a bad day or a tough time, don't just bottle it up inside. You know when you get annoyed, you're just like, the Vikings turn berserk with their bearskin. No need to go berserk. Talk to people. Again, if you've got an issue, or you have a problem, or if you have a fight with someone, you get angry, the key thing is talk it out. Talk it out. Because when we talk, we can get things off our chest and we can hopefully resolve it. So that's the idea today. It's always good to talk. Not too much in the morning. When you wake up first thing, don't go say hello. You should do. But I think it's about if you've got issues or problems, or you're feeling maybe like a bit stressed or tense, talk things out and it can help resolve it. So that's Mr. Seagull's motivational idea for today. It's always good to talk. There we go. In English, not in Norse. Okay. So, I've been having my... so again, I'm an author of a book called The Life-Changing Magic of Numbers, about how maths and numbers change my life. And on Mondays at 10:45, we're doing magic maths classes now. So again, if you come back to my YouTube or Facebook, and again, these are it's maths like you've never seen it before. It's so fun. So I'll be doing a maths class every Monday at 10:45. And then with my Universe Challenge friend, we have something called Monkman and Seagull's Genius Adventures. And I had 2 episodes out. It's a road trip series where we explore Britain's science and history. And we've had 2 episodes so far. And on Monday's episode, Joanne and Francesca, we had about 1.5 million people. Can you believe that? 1.5 million. So if you want to watch it, go to BBC iPlayer. Episode 1 and 2 is there. And episode 3, the final one, is out on Monday. And let me show you a clip from Monday's coming episode. And we go and visit a dinosaur exhibition. So let me show you this. Let me see if we can find it up here.
They knew how to do a good dino dinner.
So I've got the menu from 31st December 1853. Soups, we've got mock turtle, julienne and hare, braised pigeon pie, boiled chicken and celery sauce.
I'm a vegetarian. I don't think any of those would work. No vegetable?
Ooh, game, pheasants, woodcock, snipes.
I think all those are rather meaty.
Okay, we're on the sweet section. Do you have a sweet?
Oh, okay, there we go.
There we go.
Finally, something for me.
Sweet. There we go. So there you go. So that is Monkman and Seagull's Genius Adventures. Some of you have said they've seen it. We went to Stoke. So again, it's on iPlayer if you missed it. And Monday, the final episode. Really good fun. It's a bit, it's got I teach you stuff, but I'm also a bit fun and a bit bonkers, which you can hopefully realise from now. So just to let you know, my next activity is every Saturday. The time changes. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 6, it's 7. But check follow my Facebook or my Instagram, my Twitter. It's all there. And then my classes from next week. So Home Festival is going for Monday. A couple of weeks off till June the 20th. But I'll still be continuing. So Mondays at 10:45, Magic Maths. And honestly, it's fun. It's maths like you've never seen it before. We even do things like code breaking, World War II style. Then every Tuesday, 10:45 is my geography class. Every Wednesday, 8 o'clock is a football quiz. I did one last night. Thursday at 10:45 is history. And then on Saturday at 6. So again, I'm still continuing. And then from June the 20th, I'll move back to the Home Festival. But they'll all be on my own page. So again, if you're watching me on Instagram, make sure you give me a follow for that. And the family quiz is so fun. We do a sing-along at the end as well. Okay. Thank you to Lisa Lewis sending through a picture of the lesson. I appreciate that. So again, thank you for sharing stuff on Twitter and social media. It means I can get more people excited about these classes. Okay. So after this, we've got Hannah Martin doing a dance class. That's going to be fabulous. Hannah, thank you. Then Katya Jones, who's also doing a new post-lockdown course. So check out Katya. Then Bryony's doing makeup at 3, the fabulous Bryony. Then we've got at 6 o'clock, Giovanni's doing opera with David. And today we learned about an opera by Wagner is what influenced the horns that we have in the Vikings, and they don't exist really. Then at 7 o'clock, the fabulous Faye from Steps is doing the bedtime story Narnia. Then Neil, our isolation quizmaster, coming at 8:15. And then finally at 9, Lula Franks is doing a home festival party. So lots of activities to keep you going with home festival. Okay, so I think it's time for our Viking clap to end the session, yeah? Viking clap. So this is a bit of an unusual dance. Normally we'd have, like, the tarantella, din 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 din, but this is a bit more, we're going to be fierce. We're fierce warriors. So I'm going to get my outfit ready. Get my outfit. I got my bear skin, remember? You wear the bear skin going into battle, and you get out of control, so you become a berserker. So you go berserk. I don't know if can I get my helmet on for this? Get my helmet on. So thank you so much, Judy, Joanne. So I'm again, make sure you give me a follow or a like if you're on YouTube or Instagram or I'm on TikTok as well. Thank you so much, Mayuri, Charlene. You've all been fabulous, Lisa. Really enjoyed this class. We had a great time, Francesca. And again, what I'll do is I'll message people separately after the class to let you know I'm still continuing. I think this helmet's not going to work. Okay, here we go. The Viking dance, the thunderclap to end this session. Festival. So I'm back.